What's up, Copy Squad? It's your boy Kyle Milligan of KyleTheWriter.com, and today we're going to talk about, will AI replace copywriters and how soon could it happen? This question has been buzzing around the internet for a while. My general response is who cares? Because usually these questions are framed like, basically the time frame is anywhere from 5 to infinity years from now. Will machines replace copywriters? And my response has been, I don't care. What would it take for AI to replace copywriters? Well, we know copywriting works because it sells to the big 4 emotions. New, easy, safe, and big, okay? These are the sales emotions that trigger people to get salivating, the greed glands salivating, makes them drool over your offer and want your stuff. So, I do explain what the big 4 emotions are, how you can trigger them inside my book, Take Their Money. That book is available at KyleTheWriter.com/book. If you're interested in checking that out, loads of good reviews. That topic, the big 4 emotions, has helped me gross over $7.1 million in 2018. First, let's start with deep work, and then we'll talk about how AI can overcome human copywriters. One of my favorite books, I recommend this like in every other live, basically, is called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And he says to be successful in today's era, be one of 3 things. You need either 1, be able to work with sophisticated software and machinery. So that basically means AI, right? You need to be able to work with really complex stuff, that like programming language that people just barely developed yet, right? Cutting edge stuff. Number 2, so work with sophisticated software and machinery. Number 2, you need to be the best, because we live in an era of the internet. I do not have to go down the road and hire someone off a job board anymore. I can get online, I can search for a copywriter that writes for my niche and hire them. And whoever's the best, I can find them. I can ask recommendations on Facebook. I can locate the best. And generally people know who the best are. So they will just naturally rise to the top. They're top of mind. What internet marketers can do, like what I'm doing here, is I stay top of mind because I go live every day and give away free content. So people like to tune in pretty frequently, and I can build credibility and trust that way. So complicated software and machinery. Be the best, because you can get the best thanks to the internet. Click the mouse, you can have the best person at your doorstep. And 3, you can already be rich. If you've already got money to invest, you can make yourself richer. So those are the 3 ways to be successful in this day and age. So where does AI factor into that, right? How does artificial intelligence matter? Well, it matters directly with 1 and 2 are competing. So 1 would be like AI and 2 would be the best. So you can be replaced if you are like a content marketer, because a content marketer isn't selling. A content marketer is reporting facts. And AI, I think, is duly capable of just reporting statistics. Some content writers like to confuse the issue and claim to be copywriters because they're saying it's content, so it's copy. Basically, copywriting is anything written with the intent to sell, okay? So go ahead and scratch blog posts out of that. Like an advertorial would file under copywriting, where it's written very specifically to trigger the big 4 emotions throughout. However, if I want you to come away with more knowledge and information, that's a blog post, it's content. And just if you weave in some stuff, it doesn't necessarily make it copywriting, right? Copywriting is writing that's written with the express intent to make you take action, okay? Content writers, I think, are, they can be dealt with with AI, and I'm pretty sure that they are already starting to see that happen. Like short product descriptions are generated by AI nowadays, and just like anything that you can just spew facts, right? It doesn't require that you do any sort of research. It doesn't require any psychology. It doesn't require anything like that. So let's talk about going up to the next level. The closer to the sale you get, the more valuable your skill becomes. For instance, writing a long form direct response sales letter. I love that. That's what I do. I write long form letters, like 40-page letters, and at the bottom is like a buy now or subscribe now button. I love that because there's a significant barrier to entry. Most people just don't have the gumption to learn the language of copywriting and speak it for 40 pages. So I have a nice barrier to entry. I have a moat, a competitive moat, as Warren Buffett would call it, right? I have a moat from outsiders, like other people who want to do this. Generally, they see the dollar signs, they get greedy, and then they just read one book and try to get into the business, and then they fail, and then they quit. That's cool. I'm down with that. I like that because that means I can keep being the best, right? I can be number 2. So number one, work with complicated machinery like AI. Number two is be the best. You see how these two are kind of at odds? Because if you're the best, AI hasn't quite caught up. And the further sophistication level you go, the harder it will be for AI to catch you. Okay, so what will it take for AI to catch you? Then the next level will probably be like super short form copywriting, where you are essentially doing like features and benefit bullets, right? A machine can probably test variants of conversions, and this is where I think AI will get very tricky. There will be a time where it can run like millions of tests. The trick is just traffic. AI can be a very powerful force. The hang up is going to be in the research. And the more sophisticated your research needs to be, the less effective AI can be like out of the gate. And it can test and try to find the numbers and conversions, but what we can do as copywriters, especially long-form direct response copywriters, is we are writing to a guy. Right? We have a customer avatar, and maybe AI can figure that stuff out too. But everything that we do is an emotional sell, okay? And I think that brings it full circle. That's why I say content writers, you're probably going to lose your jobs to AI because you are writing information and education. The further out on like the cutting edge your information is, the more safety you have. But if you're just like an Amazon affiliate content writer where you're just like hashing out facts about a product, your days are numbered. If you're writing about personal experiences, you can still shine, right? So the further towards the cutting edge you get, the bigger moat you have. The more personalized and human your writing is about your personal experiences, like personal branding, stuff like that, you have a moat. But if you're just like writing product descriptions or content like where you're just educating someone, you're in danger. Because we are selling, okay, and this brings in the language of copywriting, right? At the moment that we understand that copywriting is a professional language that requires the communication is not the words, okay? The machine, okay, and this is where people get tied up. This is why they have trouble learning copywriting. The machine reads the words, right? It does not interpret their meaning. It just reads the words at this time. I mean, it can probably get a general idea of like meaning, right? But even at the human level, we do the same thing. People read copy, they see these short little words, they say, oh, that's just exciting, I'll just write hypey stuff and I'll make a bunch of money. What they really miss is the subtext that's communicated beneath the words. Every single line of copy, which is written with the express intent to compel you to take action, right, has a subtle subtext of either new, easy, safe, or big. Generally, with some exceptions, like the amplifiers that I talk about in the book, Take Their Money, kylethewriter.com/book. So new, amplifier is only, which is exclusivity. And that's one of the reasons why people get tied up with new. They think that it had to come out yesterday for it to be new. No, it just has to be unique, man. It has to be unique and something they haven't seen before, okay? New, easy, and anybody. This is so easy that anybody can do it, okay? Safe. Safe is about credibility, and then it's amplifier, what I call an alter ego, would be predictability. So like, this is a credible source, and we've seen this pattern happen again and again and again, so we can count on it happening again with us. All right? It's like you can help bolster that with like, start with credibility, and then you can dovetail that into like a track record or something like that. But just plain Jane selling on track record won't get you there. We've tested it. We've tried doing promos where we just put the track record at the top, and they don't do as well because it's not an emotional sell. And then big. And then the last thing for big is fast. So the alter ego for big is fast. So basically, whenever there's writing, the reason we're successful as copywriters is because we understand that we're not writing just plain Jane words. Our words, in this particular order, will trigger one of these emotional responses. And this is the barrier that we have as a competitive moat from AI at this time. I don't think AI has the sophistication to tell, like, okay, I need to convey that this is new and unique. What is a line that I can do to do that? Maybe it will be able to, like, split test a bajillion things until it accidentally lands on that. But a copywriter, like you and me, can sit down and say, okay, what's important to this guy? I'll give you some ideas. Like, this guy in particular is really about politics. He's really worried that the Democrats are going to ruin his retirement and socialism's going to take over. He's going to get taxed to death, and he already has very little in the bank as it is, and he can't work anymore. Right? These things are very important to him. So I can do research on like what's popping up on Fox News, what's popping up on CNN, what's on the Drudge Report, and find out what's top of mind for this dude. And then I can bring that language to him and say, you know, The Democrats don't want you to know this secret, right? So, well, what's the secret? And then I can find something new and unique that I found like in the news, like just came out today or something, some new report reveals, and I can kind of start going with it and going with it and going with it. And that's one of the benefits that we have as copywriters when we're actually writing direct response copy. Now, in terms of like product description, stuff like that, anything where you're basically leaning on facts and not the emotional side of the sale, right? So that definitely includes content writing. I think the days are numbered. Thanks so much for tuning in today, Copy Squad. That is all I got. Peace out, Copy Squad.